Hello children, welcome to the class. This is your English class and I hope you are fit and fine and staying inside your home and studying with me. So you are completing your work also. Today we are going to start a new chapter of Honeycomb, chapter number 7. We have completed chapter number 6 and today we are going to start chapter number 7. This is from your Honeycomb book and the name of the chapter is The Invention of VII. This is very interesting story, and before going to start, I would like to share a very interesting, or you can say the beautiful thought. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Always remember, successful people always or keep moving. They do mistakes, but they don't quit. So always remember this, because mistakes, you can say, a first step of success. Whenever you are doing mistakes, so it is your teacher that teaches you that what mistake you have done and how to improve yourself. So for this message, I would like to start my class, and always keep moving and keep studying. And we are going to start. Now, before start this story, I would like to tell about the writer or author of this wonderful story. And this author name is Roald Dahl. This story, The Invention of VII, this story, or you can say the part of this story, is derived from Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. It's a children's book by British author Roald Dahl. It is the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we will continue this story. This is the one part of this story, This is the sequel of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And the character here, you can see the Charlie and the Willy Wonka. The two characters are here, and Willy Wonka is an inventor, and Charlie, as is always, you can see the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You have seen a helper the boy was. So we are going to, I'm going to give a introduction about this story, because you just know what is inside this story and how it derived from and where the author has taken this plot in our book. So children, in this story, it is, you can say, the sequel of this story, and this is the plot. And in this plot, you can see Mr. Willy Wonka begins by inventing Wonka White, which makes people younger. He invented a medicine to grow people younger. So after that failure, because the people became minus 87, and after that failure, he started making this new medicine to grow people older. Now, this medicine is called VII. The soul of the chapter is Wonka White and its impact. Mr. Willy Wonka, the owner of Chocolate Factory, has decided to invent Wonka White. This will make people younger, but it is too strong. After taking this, there is a rapid decrease in age. Some people have disappeared because their age has reached in minus. One person's age has become minus 87, so he needs to wait for 87 years to be visible to others. Mr. Wonka must invent a new thing to reverse these changes. Ingredient of VII. Inside the chocolate factory, Mr. Wonka is searching for a new recipe which will make people older. He asked Charlie about the oldest thing in the world. Charlie's reply was a tree. Mr. Wonka added that it is the Bristol cone pine trees growing in the slopes of the Wheeler Peak in the Nevada, USA. Is the tree that lives longer than anything else. Mr. Wonka then went into the great glass elevator to travel across the world to collect items from some of the oldest living things. He collected a pint of sap from a 4,000-year Bristol cone pine tree, toenail clipping from a 168 years old Russian farmer, and egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise, the tail of 51 years old horse, and so on. In his inventing room, after working with all these elements for hours, he prepared a cup full of oily black liquid. He gave 4 drops of it to a 20 years old Oompa Loompa volunteer. Charlie asked what happened after that. Mr. Wonka informed him that the creature, after a bit of shivering and wrinkling, became a 75 years old, and he confirmed the invention of VII to Charlie. So this is about the story, and today we are going to start the first part of the story. And so let's start the first part of this story. Before you read, something is given over here. Who are the oldest people you know? What are the oldest things you have in your house, in your city, town or village? How old are they? Have you ever wished that you were older? Have you wished that you could grow up in the hurry? So these are the questions we have to ask to ourselves. And after that, the first paragraph, the invention of VII. Mr. Willy Wonka begins by inventing Wonka White, which makes people younger. But Wonka White is too strong. So some people disappear because their age becomes minus. One person actually becomes minus 87, which means he's got to wait 87 years before he can come back. Mr. Willy Wonka must invent a new thing. So first part of the story, we are going to read it. Mr. Wonka said, "So once again I rolled up my sleeves and set to work. Once again I squeezed my brain, searching for the new recipe I had to create age, to make people old, older and oldest. Ha ha, I cried, for now the ideas were beginning to come. What is the oldest living thing in the world? What lives longer than anything else?" So this paragraph, the present chapter is an extract from the famous series of Willy Wonka and Charlie the Little Boy. As the story goes, Willy Wonka was an inventor, as you all know, I have already told you, who was continuously in pursuit of creating something unusual and new. In the present story, Wonka invents a medicine by the name of the Wonka White. This was a medicine, that name was Wonka White. This medicine makes people younger, but the calculation in the ingredients goes wrong and the medicine becomes so strong that after taking the medicine, some people are taken back to their childhood years, and some even disappear from the face of the earth because it makes people so young. So those who are very young, so they just disappear from the earth. Now, so all such people needs to wait for such long years to be back in the earth. In such case, Willy Wonka must invent another medicine so that all such people could come back from those childhood days back to their normal age. So now he is going to make the new medicine, and this medicine I have already read first paragraph of this story. Now the Wonka had to make a new medicine to make people old once again, because his earlier medicine had made people so small that some had even disappeared from the face of the earth. So, explaining Charlie why he had to make the new medicine and how he was to go about the whole affair. Willy Wonka explained everything. So I rolled up my sleeves, meaning I got ready and prepared. I got ready and prepared. So here I'm going to write. The first meaning is rolled up my sleeves. Roll up my sleeves, it means prepared, got ready, and prepared myself. This is the meaning of rolled up my sleeves. Now second word is squeezed. Squeezed means firmly press. Now here you can see Willy Wonka explained everything, so I rolled up my sleeves, meaning I just prepared myself and myself to create something new. And I put a lot of pressure. The squeezed means lot of pressure on my brain in order to create something new and important. And on, you can see over here, this occasion of it was age that was to be created. I had to make a medicine that could make people older, older, old, older and oldest, as the Wonka put it. So he was going to make a medicine to make people old, older and oldest. Now here you can see the 3 degrees are given over here. And as Mr. Wonka put it, so now ideas are coming to my mind how I can make or create such a medicine. The very basic question which one need to ask before making an thing old is, what is the oldest living thing on earth and what are things that live longer than others on earth? So that question arises in the mind of Wonka. Now we are moving to the next paragraph. A tree, Charlie said. Right you are, Charlie, but what kind of a tree? Not the Douglas fir, not the oak, not the cedar. No, my boy, it is a tree called tree Bristol cone pine that grows up on the slopes of the Willer Peak in Nevada, USA. You can find Bristol cone pines on Willer Peak today that are over 4,000 years old. This is fact. Charlie, ask any dendrochronist you like and look that word up in the dictionary when you get home. Will you please? So that started me off, jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world collecting a special item from the oldest living thing. Now here you can see Charlie the little boy was just there in front of Mr. Wonka, who immediately replied that the oldest living tree known to him a tree. Mr. Wonka was pleased to hear the answer. Now here you can see from Charlie, but Mr. Wonka wanted to find out what kind of tree was old than any other tree in the jungle. Now Willy Wonka, though of various kinds of the tree, the Douglas to be some special kind of tree which was very old, and that was the speciality of the tree. Then suddenly a thought struck Mr. Wonka's mind. He remembered that there is an old tree in Wheeler Park, hills in the state of Nevada, in the USA. It is the 4,000 years old tree of Bristol cone pine. It is truly 4,000 years old tree, and you can consult any specialist if you want to ascertain the true age of the tree. All this he has said to the Charlie, who was supposed to collect all the ingredients for Mr. Wonka's medicine. So here you have seen how they mentally prepare themselves to make Wonka medicine to become older or oldest. So we are moving to the third paragraph of this story, but before going to moving to third paragraph of the story, we can see some new words which are given in this second paragraph of this chapter. First is fir, a tree with needle-like leaves and cones. So we are going to write on the board. So you can write down in your pot. This is fir. Fir means a tree. It's the kind of tree with needle-like leaves and cones. It is called fir tree. Now we are moving to the second kind of tree, is oak. These are fir and oak, mostly you can find in the hilly areas. So oak, a family of large trees, with a hard wood. And the chinar in Kashmir is a kind of oak tree in India. Now we are moving to the cedar. Cedar and evergreen tree. Cedar and evergreen tree, and with hard red sweet smelling wood. With hard red sweet smelling wood. first is fir. Fir, a tree with needle-like leaves and cones. And here the oak, a family of large tree with a hardwood, and cedar, an evergreen tree with hard red sweet smelling wood. These are all kinds of trees. Now next is pine. Pine. Pine is also a kind of tree and an evergreen tree with needle shaped. An evergreen tree with needle shaped leaves and cones. Leaves and cones. This is called pine tree. Now we are moving to the flea. Flea a small insect, the meaning of flea is a small insect living on the skin of animal. Living on the skin of animals. So these are the word meanings. Write down in your copy. And here we have already seen that Charlie suggested a tree, and from that suggestion Winnie Wonka started searching who or which tree is the oldest tree, and now in the next part of the story we can see how they were started their searching. Now in the fourth paragraph of this story, the third paragraph of the story, a pint of sap from a 4,000-year-old Bristol cone pine. The toenail clippings from a 168-year-old Russian farmer called Petrovich Grigorovich. An egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. The whiskers of a 36-year-old cat called Crumpets, an old flea which had lived on the Crumpets from 36 years. The tail of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. The black teeth of a 97-year-old Greek Maclean living in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl, and the knuckle bones of 700-year-old Catalu from Peru. Now the first word in this description, you can see a pint. This is, you can say, a measurement. The first word is pint. Pint means a unit of volume or capacity in both the imperial United States customary measurement system. So this is, you can say, a unit of volume of capacity in both the imperial and United States customary measurement system. This is a unit or volume to measure the liquor, which is the measurement of measuring liquor. Now we are moving to the third paragraph, and here you can see Charlie had the list of things. Now Charlie had prepared a list. Charlie had the list of things which he had to collect from around the world, and the great glass elevator was going to be the most helpful to him. And the list which he had was one of the most interesting and peculiar in every respect, and it read as follows. Now here you can see he read these type of the list, and it is given in your book. A pint of sap from 400 years old oak tree. It is a sample of oak tree, 4,000 years old oak tree. A small measurement of the tree's part was the first ingredient which was to be collected from Nevada, USA. Now the second ingredient was to be collected from Russia. Toenail clipping of an 168 years old Russian farmer named Petrovich Gregorovich. To collect it, and the glass elevator, wonderful mode of transportation, was helping him all the way. Now third, now he had to collect an egg laid by a 200 years old tortoise, which was a pet to the king of the Tonga. Fourth, now he had to go to the Arabia to collect tail of an Arabian horse, which are supposed to be the finest horses in the world. Fifth, Charlie now had to collect the whiskers of 36-year-old cat known as crumpets. Now sixth, and also a flea which had lived on the crumpets from 36 years old. Now all the oldest things. Now Charlie's seventh point, you can see, now Charlie had to take his elevator all the way to Tibet, where he had to collect one of the most peculiar element, a tail of 207 years old giant rat. And eighth, then he had to get a black teeth of 97 years old Grim MacLean living in a cave in some mountain called Popocatépetl. Now ninth, and lastly he had to get the knuckle bones of a 700 years Catalu from Peru. So we see that Charlie had to go all around the world to collect these items, and for Mr. Wonka to make the medicine. And the great glass elevator was the most helpful gadget which helped Charlie. So this way he collected all the things for the Mr. Wonka to prepare a medicine which is called Winnie Wonka medicine. So children, let's start solving comprehension check whatever we have read here. And the comprehension check is given for checking what you have understood from first part of the story. So it is given over here, choose the right answer. Mr. Willy Wonka is a cook, an inventor, or a manager. So what we are going to choose? If we have seen in the first paragraph, you can see over here, Mr. Wonka, Willy Wonka, is a inventor. So the answer is comprehension check. Answer 1, choose the correct option, and here we are going to choose in 1, an inventor. Willy Wonka was an inventor. Now here we are moving to second about Willy Wonka. Wonka White makes people older or younger. As we have seen in the story, first he started making medicine to make people younger. And that time what happened, they become in -87. So here we are going to write Wonka White makes people younger. First he invented the medicine to make young. Now third, Mr. Wonka wants to invent a new thing which will make people younger or older. Now in this chapter we have seen that in this chapter he started making a medicine which is called Vita Wonka, and it is for to make people older, older and oldest. So this is older. The answer is older. Now we are moving to second question of this chapter, of this first comprehension check. Can anyone age be a minus number? What does -87 mean? So it is impossible. So how can we write this answer? Because it is not, in reality it is not possible. So we are going to write the answer of question number 2. No one no one's age can be minus. Can be minus number because no one can revert. Because no one can revert or go back in his younger days. His or her younger days. So it is quite impossible to become -87. So we can write the answer, no one's age can be minus number because no one can revert or go back in his younger days. Now we are moving to third question. Mr. Wonka begins by asking himself two questions. What are they? First is what is, and second is what lives. So he asks two questions and we have to complete these two questions. This is answer number 3. So start writing answer number 3. First is what is? The first question, what is? So now we are going to write what is oldest living thing in the world This was the first question. And second question was, what lives? What lives? And here we are going to complete longer. What lives longer than anything else? So this way we have completed the exercises. You just complete in your copy and as well as in the book also. And learn all the new words which are given in your book, and some words I have given on the board also. You just write down and learn this. And this is a very, you can see the masterpiece of Roald Dahl, and he wrote a wonderful story. So we will continue in the next video this story, the second part of the story, and just read thoroughly, and we will discuss tomorrow the next part of the story. So till then, bye bye and take care.